Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
You have failed this city.
Wow. I know, right? Hey! Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
Welcome. Gives you the right. What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
But that is being human.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Watchtower. I am your host, Robert Slavinsky, Slav, as most of you know me as. Hey, how's it going? Yes, this is way earlier than I typically do the show, I know, but that's because I'm going to be on somebody else's show tonight. As of right now, I am slated to be on Film Junkie's show later tonight, so make sure you head on over there tonight to check out his show while I join him and discuss, well, I don't actually know what we're going to discuss, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun over there tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so that should be a lot of fun. Yes, I am very early today, Trayvon is on here. He goes, you weren't kidding, Slav. Kidding, you was going to be very early today. Yes, it is very early. Very, very early. Comic Cuts also says the bat signal has been calling for the DCU Batman. It sure has, I tell you what. I don't expect there to be a lot of back and forth from viewers because it is 2 p.m. my time right now, but that's okay. This will probably be a quicker than normal show because of that. But yes, we are going to go forward. There are some news that I want to talk about before we get into the Peacemaker discussion of it all. So we will discuss that also. So let's get into everything. Okay, so up first, I want to talk about this. The Authority. Look, The Authority was one of those films, one of those projects that James Gunn announced back in, 2023? Was it January 2023 that he announced these slew of projects in Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And we haven't really heard much about The Authority since then. Now it seems like James Gunn is admitting that, well, it's been a little bit of a challenge to develop. And he says it's simply because integrating these characters with the DCU has been a difficult thing to do. So what could be going on here? Because we saw the Engineer in Superman. They were able to integrate the Engineer. So what's so difficult about integrating the rest of the characters? I'm a little confused. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's the storyline. Maybe it's he didn't have a really strong idea when he announced these. This is maybe my biggest issue with what's going on right now. And I will call him out for this. Look, if I'm anything, I'm fair. If I'm anything, I will call out the terrible decisions and ideas that we've seen from James Gunn, or that we will see from James Gunn. I was critical of him not starting fresh and new from the very beginning, just scrapping everything and going fresh and new, because I thought that that's what he should have done. Look, I'm loving Peacemaker Season 2 so far. I love the idea that we get to explore these characters even further, absolutely. But I still think that it should have been something that he did. I still think it's something that he should have just said, you know what, Peacemaker was great, John Cena was great as Peacemaker, these characters were great, but you know what, we should start brand new, fresh and new. This is another issue. If he's having so much trouble right now, cracking how to develop the Authority, why did he announce that they were going to do an Authority movie or project? To me, that was just his lack of experience in the role. I can understand saying Superman, Supergirl, Batman. Those are your projects that you know those are going to come. You know that those are going to get made because those are projects that have to be made in a large DC universe. Especially because Supergirl was already basically greenlit at the time. I mean, it was getting made. Superman was greenlit. It was getting made. But The Authority was one that didn't have a script, wasn't 100% guaranteed to be made. So why even say anything in January 2023 about it? Swamp Thing was another one. Why bring it up when James Mangold, he's possibly going to be doing this Star Wars thing, and we don't have a script for it. We don't know where it's going yet. Look, I want to see Swamp Thing, and I believe that it's going to come, but this is one of the things that I think that when people are critical of James Gunn, this is an area where I think it's okay to be critical of James Gunn on. Because this announcement that he made in 2023 of highlighting these projects, I was excited. I'm still excited for these projects, and I still think that we're going to see most of them, if not all of them, come to fruition at some point in time. But to sit there and make a claim that, hey, we're going to make this Authorities film or project, and then all of a sudden say something like this, hey, it hasn't been developed, it hasn't been moving forward because we don't know how to do it, then why did you say something in 2023? Again, that's not to say that they're not going to figure it out. But maybe they jumped the gun a little bit, no pun intended, in saying that there was going to be an Authority thing. I get the idea of saying, hey, this will excite people because we've never seen anything like it. So let's say there's going to be an Authority project, and people are going to be like, whoa, that's crazy. We've never thought that we'd see something from the Authority. That's nuts. That's crazy. I get that idea. But don't do it unless you have an idea on how it's going to fit in the world that you're building. And it seems like they didn't have an idea for that. Again, that's where I think that he dropped the ball a little bit. That doesn't mean that he's not going to figure it out. That doesn't mean that at some point all this stuff is going to come together. But I understand if people want to be critical about that, that is something that is understandable. That is understandable to be critical of him, of this. All right? And like I said, it's okay to have a criticism about James Gunn. You don't have to sit there and think that he's done everything perfect because he's human. He hasn't done everything perfectly. He's going to make mistakes. He's not going to do everything perfect. But again, it's the people that sit there and criticize him for the dumb stuff and the things that he doesn't need to be criticized for. That's where it gets a little ridiculous. This, though, I get it. I completely get it. I want to see the Authority. Well, look, we sit here, we saw the Engineer in Superman. We're thinking like, yes, we can see the Engineer. We could definitely see that the Authority's coming. But now it's kind of like, well, maybe it's not coming. Some people still think that maybe he's playing coy. Maybe he's just saying this, and the next movie is going to be where it's Superman and the Justice Gang against the Authority. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But to say this, I can see why we could be a little critical of the way that he's handled some of the announcements thus far. But I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. Look, this is a safe place, guys. You can be a little critical. Don't be hating on him. There's no reason to hate on him for it. But you can be a little critical because, yes, I understand. Things sometimes don't go the way it's supposed to go. Maybe he should have thought about it a little bit before saying, hey, this is coming. But it is what it is. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right. Trayvon says, son of a what? Film junkie? Yes, I am going to be with the film junkie later tonight. Trayvon says, Superman versus the Authority. You heard it here first. Superman sequel and The Authority equals Superman versus The Authority. It could be what it is. Real Anarchy says, hey, bud, early live. Me likes. Yes, don't get used to this. Typically, I'm at work. I had to take my mother somewhere earlier today, and I just got home and thought, you know what, before I get the kids from school, which is going to happen in about an hour, I was like, let me get this live out of the way. That way I can do my show today, and then I'll be on with Film Junkie later tonight. Trayvon says, I would argue that Peacemaker being axed would have been unfair to all those who got into the groove of that character and the storyline. I get it, but again, my feeling is you start a brand new universe. You're saying, hey, we need to start from scratch. We need to start a new universe. We should start from scratch. That's what I think they should have done. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm loving Peacemaker. I love the first season. I'm loving the second season so far. I get it. I just think that's the way I would have done it, is all I'm saying. Trayvon also says these announcements don't sting because outside of Superman, none of them were given release dates. You're right. Again, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. None of them were given release dates. The only thing that they were given is Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. We don't even know how long Chapter 1 is going to last. Chapter 1 could be 10 years. We don't even know that. I don't believe there was ever a given time frame for that, if I remember correctly. So, I get it. Let's see. Real Anarchy says, cool, I might join the live stream tonight. That's badass. Cool, hope to see you there. Trayvon, he never said The Authority was coming. He just revealed that it's one of the many projects in development process. Okay, well, there you have it. Again, it's just the perception, I guess you can say. The way it's perceived as here's the projects that are lined up in Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, and then we get to this, and he goes, hey, it's a challenge to make. So people are expecting it to come, and then it's not coming. It's kind of like the issues that we've seen with Marvel in a way, where take Blade, for instance. For so long, people are so excited about Blade, and it just doesn't happen. I don't want to see the same thing happen with DC. That's all I'm saying. Trayvon says, I'm at work right now, so I'm about to head out. That's cool, man. Hopefully you can watch later. You can leave all the comments you want to leave down below. But thanks for stopping by for as long as you did. Thank you. All right, next story. This one is... Batman stuff. We're getting into the Batman stuff, guys. James Gunn says Chris Pratt won't be Batman, though he could appear elsewhere in the DCU. As Batman, no. As something else, yes. So he was asked in an interview about Chris Pratt being possibly the rumor that he could be Batman. And he says, Batman? No. As something else, yes. He talks about how Chris Pratt is his friend and how he could absolutely show up as something else in the DCU. Honestly, I think we've mostly all expected that Chris Pratt was going to show up in the DCU in some form or fashion. It just makes sense. I mean, him and James Gunn have been working together since, 2013, 2014, whatever it is. So they've been working together for more than 10 years in some form or fashion. It kind of makes sense. And Chris Pratt, he was on the set of Superman. It looks like he's going to be somebody who wants to come in and do something. Let's see what it is. Honestly, let's see what it is. I'm all for it. I like Chris Pratt as a human being. I like him as an actor. I think he would fit in perfectly in the DCU. So I'm excited about that. I never thought he was going to be Batman. I don't know why some people thought he was going to be the Batman. Just ridiculous. I know some people kind of speculate, maybe he's going to be Booster Gold. And I know some people think that he's going to play maybe some, side character or something like that. Nothing of a major role. And that might fit him perfectly. He's in his 40s. He's already played the major role in Marvel as Star-Lord. Does he need to play another role like that in the DCU? Not really. No. I mean, he could play... Think of like Vigilante and Peacemaker. Like, he could play a role like that. Like, he's not the main character in a story, but still a hero type of role that is a side character. Like, I could see a supporting role like that for him in some kind of project for sure. But as the main guy, I mean, he is a leading man type of actor for sure. But do I think he needs that in the DCU? No. But we'll see. I don't know. I'd love, again, regardless of what he does in the DCU, I'm all for it because I like him. But sticking with Batman, this one is really interesting because another rumored Batman, or one that has been fan cast for so long, is Alan Ritchson. Alan Ritchson says he has had talks with James Gunn about playing Batman, but doesn't think it will happen. He says, I strongly don't think the Batman is in my future. I do think there's something in my future with DC. And I'm going to pull this up real quick because way at the end, he says, speaking of what you've got coming, there are some Batman rumors, and this is from Variety.com. There are some rumors doing the rounds online following some comments from James Gunn about him being a fan of yours. Are you aware of these? He says, well, it's not rumor that James Gunn is a fan. He said it himself. And I'm a fan of James Gunn. Absolutely. I don't want to mislead people. Words have been exchanged about Batman, but I strongly don't think that Batman is in my future. I do think there's something in my future with DC, and I would like that to remain true. I love that. First off, I love Alan Ritchson. He is fantastic in Reacher. He was great in Titans. I mean, he is an actor that anytime I see him on screen, he was, what was that movie with Henry Cavill? What the heck was that called? I can't remember what it was called. He was great in it. But here's the thing. He's at an age that I think he's just a little too old to play Batman. I do. I think, I think he has this great physique, and I think he would have been great in some sort of role as Batman in some kind of project, I don't think he would have fit in the DCU. That's not to say that he won't fit in the DCU in some form or fashion in another way sometime down the line. And I hope he does. I still fan cast him as Aquaman. I know he was Aquaman in Smallville, and I think this would be like vindication. This would be him coming back and saying, you know what, I'm going to put my stamp on the role as Aquaman and show, look, that one in Smallville, that was nothing. This is the real Aquaman. And I think that would be great now. But I like him a lot. I hope that we do see him in some form or fashion in the DCU. I think because James Gunn is a fan of his and he's a fan of James Gunn, I think that something will come. Is it going to be kind of like a Chris Pratt where, in my eyes, that it'll be like a side character, or will it be a main leading role in something? I don't know. But these Batman casting rumors are just getting out of hand, man. They're crazy. But this is one, though, that we could pretty much, at this point, these two rumors, these two fan casts, these two ideas can now be put on the shelf. They can be put on the shelf now. It seems like there's no chance that Alan Ritchson's going to be Batman, and no chance that Chris Pratt is going to be Batman. So that's exciting. That's interesting to hear. But I'd love to hear what you have to say about these Batman rumors, about not just the rumors, but what is being said about these two actors. Who do you think they could play in the DCU when they get cast in the DC? Because you know it's coming. You know it's coming. Well, who do you think they could play? Let me know in the comments below. Kings is here. He says, Slav, have you seen the new Clayface set photos? I have, and I've actually seen one of them, and I'm going to pull this up right here. Where is it at? That's no. I shared it. Where did it go? Is it in my replies? What did I do with it? There it is. Found it. So I shared this from Real Anarchy. It says, looks like production is ramping up in Liverpool for the upcoming DC Studios Clayface. And it looks like Gotham City police car there, and it had a bunch of other cars on the truck there, it looks like. And, yeah, I mean, if this is real, which it looks like it is, and we know that the Clayface movie is about to get into production here soon, yeah, I mean, this is great. It's beautiful. It's the reason why I say it's beautiful, as you can see here on the side, I say it's so beautiful, is because It's just the DCU moving forward. It's so beautiful to see that project after project after project is just getting ramped up. It is moving. It is starting. They're doing more and more and more and more. And to me, that is just so exciting. I love to see it. I'm excited about Clayface. It's going to be cool to see a horror film in the DCU. I like the idea. I like it. I also, look, are we going to see Batman in it? Look, we were just talking about Batman. Could we see Batman in this? That'd be cool if we did. It's okay if we don't. But look, we're getting Gotham next. We're going to get Gotham. We've seen Metropolis. And then we're going to see, I don't know what we're going to see in Supergirl. Are we going to, I know we're going to see other planets, but are we going to see any other cities? What are we going to see in Lanterns? Like, we're going to just start seeing different parts of this DC universe. And then we're going to get Gotham. Like, this is what I'm excited about. Just this world, this universe being built out. I'm so excited. I can't wait for sure. So I love this. I do. Hunter Iggy says, what is your thoughts on Alan Ritchson as Aquaman or Captain Atom? Aquaman, I'm all for. I just said it. I think he should be Aquaman. Captain Atom, I guess, but I want to see him as Aquaman. I just think it'd be great. Donovan Martin says, I'm so excited for Clayface, as am I. He says, honestly, I'm glad that Alan will not be Batman. Agreed. I never thought he was the perfect choice for the DCU Batman. All right. Now, there is a special message. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there is a special message from James Gunn today. So I'm going to play this. It's a very, very important special message. So here it is.
Bird blindness affects countless people.
At first I didn't believe it, but it's real and it's actually pretty sad.
I'm telling you, you can't make this kind of stuff up.
What's the deal with the parrot?
That's an eagle.
You telling me you don't recognize what kind of bird that is?
It's the inability to identify birds. Any birds. They're out there and they need our help.
The duck and an eagle are totally different sizes.
Yeah, well, they look the same size to me, man.
It likely already affects somebody you know.
I caught an eagle and a duck. I'm not proud.
As an animal expert, it was really hard to watch.
Chances are, neither of those people have bird blindness. But someone does.
It doesn't have to be this way. With your support, we can help assist those struggling with this condition.
Do your part to help people suffering from bird blindness.
Please spread the word and raise awareness in any way you can.
Oh, fucking duck attacked me.
Yeah. So, oh man, I saw that like 20 minutes before I started the show and I lost it. I absolutely lost it. This is hilarious. This is the kind of fun that we just never saw from DC before. James Gunn is having a blast. This is great. How can you not laugh at this? How can you not have fun with this? This is going to lead us right into our Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2 discussion. So let me know. Start putting in the comments here. What did you think of Episode 2? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? What did you like? What did you hate? All that kind of stuff. So put it in the comments here. Potential spoilers if you haven't. If you have, oh man, I gotta fix my background a little bit. If you have seen, if you haven't seen the episode, potential spoilers, so beware. So, yeah, I mean, it was a great episode, I thought. Look, Eagly with the aura of the century. Look at that guy. Look at him. Look at him. Man. Okay, so let's kind of get into it a little bit here. So, I mean, the episode, the way it starts off, I think, with Rick Flag, what was it, 8 months ago, Rick Flag Sr. being promoted to the head of Argus, and then him demanding from economists to get the file on what happened during Project Starfish to his son, solidifies my theory on what's going to happen this season, which I know a lot of other people kind of have this theory as well, that we're going to see Rick Flag Jr. But I really believe, I do truly, honestly believe that, like I said, this show really is starting to look like it's going to be about fathers and sons. That's what I really think it is. So I really like the way it started. Then we jump up, 8 months. We see Peacemaker freaking out about him killing the other universe's Christopher Smith Peacemaker, and him trying to come to grips with what he did there. And then we get introduced to Tim Meadows' character, which I can't remember what his name was in the show. And I tell you what, look, Tim Meadows, I've always liked Tim Meadows, and he's one of those actors that when he shows up in a project or something, you just know it's going to be ridiculous. No matter what it is, it's just going to be ridiculous. So at first he shows up, and I really thought he was going to be playing a straight man. Like, he was going to show up and he was going to be the straight man in this show. Like, I thought he was just going to not have that much comedy in it. And then he started calling economists. What did he call them? I can't. Red-haired or cool red or cool, whatever it was. But he started calling him names. And then I started. Okay, now I see. You say I sound like a transformer? That's not good. Chris says I sound like a transformer. Do I sound like a transformer, everyone? That's not good. Let's see. Let's do this. Here, is that better? Do I not sound like a transformer anymore? Is that better? Hopefully that's better. But anyways, he goes in and starts to call economists names and things like that. Then it's the whole bird blindness thing. It just got out of hand with Tim Meadows. Like, it really did. Like, I thought it was hilarious. I did. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I did like it. Then we get to all of this stuff with Peacemaker going with Vigilante and taking care of the Christopher Smith of the other world, cutting him up and burning him and everything like that. Some interesting moments with him and Vigilante inside the house after the orgy, and just ridiculous shenanigans there. Then they go to the party on the rooftop, which we saw in the previews and things like that. At that time, Tim Meadows and a group of Argus soldiers go into Peacemaker's house to find the anomaly, the doorway. And that's when Eagly attacks. And it is phenomenal. Like, Eagly, this was Eagly's episode, man. Like, this was his episode. Like, I cannot believe it. It was nuts. Like, I was so impressed with what they did with Eagly in this episode. I thought it was phenomenal. Like, just the action, what they did with him was great. Then the comedy behind it as well. Like, while it was great action, there was just these little comedic scenes throughout, whether it was Tim Meadows or even Eagly. Like, when Eagly pulls the eye out of one of the bad guys, he rips out the eye and he throws it up. It's just, there's these little moments throughout that you're just like, holy shit. Like, what are they doing? It's hilarious. It's great. Absolutely phenomenal scene. Meanwhile, at the party, they're up on the rooftop and they're all talking and just having fun times, just being the 11th Street kids again, all together. But Peacemaker goes and talks to Harcourt, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with Harcourt. Just really trying to he can tell she's hurting, but she keeps putting up this wall and from him. Like, at first you think she's gonna like open up to him, but she's like, nope, puts up this wall, and it kind of hurts him. And because of that, he starts drinking even more. He gets drunk again, drunk than he, really, really drunk. And you can tell, like, he's looking for something. He's looking for love. He's missing love in his life, and that's what he's looking for. Yeah, he has his friends. He has the 11th Street kids, but he's looking for that connection, and he believes it's Harcourt that can give it to him. But she keeps putting up this wall. So he drinks, and he knows from visiting that other dimension that Peacemaker has that connection with Harcourt there. So he gets drunk, goes home, and picks up the old Peacemaker's phone, which he grabbed off of the Peacemaker as they were cutting him up, and tries to text her, Harcourt from the other dimension. Doesn't go through, but he decides to go to the other dimension, and in doing so, we kind of suspect that in the next episode, he's going to start living that life of that Peacemaker. I have to say, this was not as action-packed or as exciting as episode 1, but there was a lot of meat to the bone, on the bone with this one here, because it's understanding what's going on with Harcourt a little bit more, but more so what Peacemaker is looking for. Peacemaker is looking for love. He's looking for, something that he's missing. He's missing a piece of his heart, and he needs that to be filled. And he thinks Harcourt can do it, but she keeps putting up these walls, and she won't let him in. So that's kind of what this whole episode was. And I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really good, strong episode. And I can't wait to see next week's, because I want to see this other dimension and what's going on there. And I have a feeling we're going to see at least one cameo of something or someone in this other dimension. And we're going to see them in a new light, in a way that we've never seen them before. So I'm curious to see if that actually happens. I just have this weird feeling we're going to see something in this dimension. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. So make sure you let me know in the comments what you think. Now, I do see some of you over here. Donovan says a lot of theories going around that the Earth 2 world is actually a Nazi-occupied America, and that the top trio is being accepted and celebrated. I've heard that theory, which is interesting and crazy. I wouldn't put it past Gunn to do something like that for sure. It is possible though, so we'll definitely see that. Donovan also says Eagly acting like the king he is. Yes, absolutely. See, Donovan says, him demoting the guy's nickname to barely legal had me. Yeah, some of the nicknames that Tim Meadows was giving the soldiers was hilarious. I like that. Definitely like that. Critic Chris, no drone-like version bird like Falcon had in the MCU. Yeah, I mean, look, Eagly is far better than what Falcon had in the MCU. Way better. Batman 235 says, hello. How's it going, Batman 235? What did you think of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 2? Let me know. Let us know in the comments. Yeah, again, this episode, like I said, while it wasn't as action-packed or as much fun as the first episode was, I think this had a lot more heart and a lot more depth to it than the first episode did, which was important. Silver Jaguar says, I read a theory stating that Kumail Nanjiani is playing Booster Gold in the alternate dimension, which would allow the showrunner for the Booster Gold show to recast the character if he wants. I mean, that's not a bad theory. Look, when it comes to the whole theory with, or idea of Kumail Nanjiani playing Booster Gold, I keep going back to what Zolo Moran, I can never say his last name, the guy who plays Blue Beetle, what he said like a year ago when he was getting ready to do the voice acting for the Blue Beetle animated show. And he said that, we're about to go in and record our voice or our roles for the animated show. And he said something about Kumail Nanjiani being in it as Booster Gold. I don't remember what the exact quote is, so don't hold me to what I just said there as the quote, because I don't remember what it is. But he did say something about Kumail Nanjiani playing Booster Gold in the show. So I always go back to that and believe, like, I don't know why he would say that unless it was true. But maybe he was just screwing around. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not one of the people that hates the idea of Kumail Nanjiani playing Booster Gold. Like, I think he would do the role justice. I think he's got a great personality for the role. I know some people are like, his skin color doesn't work, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, that doesn't... He is one of the characters where the skin color doesn't matter. While I do believe that there are some characters where the race does actually matter, he's one character that doesn't. And like, to me, it's like, I think he can pull it off. I think he'd be hilarious and great in it. So to me, I don't care. So that's just me. Let's see. Critic Chris says, I prefer Chris Pratt as Booster Gold. Other guy voice Skeet, perhaps. Another guy voice Skeets. I don't know what you meant there. Small privates man for Slav's free talk. I don't know what you're saying, Hunter Iggy. Yeah, okay. Don't know what you're saying there. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got? Anybody else say anything? What do we got? What else do we got? Anything else? Like I said, I mean, while there wasn't a lot of craziness on it, like I said, my theories that I said last week are that we'll see Rick Flag Jr. in this season of Peacemaker, which I know a lot of people are saying that. But again, because this is like a father-son type of season of story, I really believe it's going to happen. I do. And then I think I had this weird feeling that we're going to see Harley Quinn. I do. I have this crazy feeling that Harley Quinn's going to show up in this show for some reason. I don't know why. I don't have any basis for that. I don't. I just have this weird feeling that we're going to see Harley Quinn. So, oh, that's what you're talking about. Skeet. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying, okay, never mind. You're saying Chris Pratt as Booster Gold and other guy, Skeet. Other guy, you're saying Kumail Nanjiani as Skeet. Got it. That's what you're saying. Okay. Gotcha, Critic Chris. I'm sorry. I had no idea I did not understand the comment. I'm sorry. Thank you. I got it. Anyways, so yeah, I have no basis for anything. I just wanted to have a wild theory for the season, and that's my wild theory, is that Harley Quinn's going to pop up. But I do think that it's almost a guarantee we're going to see, not in a picture, because I know like this episode we saw Rick Flag Jr. in a photo and in flashbacks, but like I'm saying, like in new footage, like he's there talking to the characters there. So that's all. That's what I think for sure. Ah, boy. Anything else that you guys want to discuss? Come on, guys. What do we want to discuss? Silver Jaguar says, didn't James Gunn answer a question about Margot Robbie returning as Harley Quinn with a snarky "we'll see"? Seems like he has plans for Harley Quinn at least, whether that be in this season or not. That's a possibility. I mean, I have seen the comments, and then I saw Margot Robbie even say, like, she was shocked that James Gunn brought something up. Who knows? Look, maybe. I don't know. One can hope that we get something. I mean, I just want my theory to be right, but who knows? I would love to see something like that pop up for sure. Definitely. I'm trying to see if there's any other news. News has been dropping like crazy lately, for sure. Don't see anything else. There was that where James Gunn said that Blue Beetle fits into the universe perfectly. Again, people are acting like that's big news. That's just been something that's been known. I thought people knew that was gonna like yeah, we knew Blue Beetle was going to be in this. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Critic Chris says, who do you want as DCU's Batman? I know. Who do I want? I know everybody doesn't like this pick because everybody says he's too short, but I just think he would be great as Batman. I don't care how short he is. I'm a big Taron Egerton fan, so I think he would be great as Batman. But I know everybody thinks he's too short because I think he's like 5'7" or something like that. He is a little short. But if I were to go off of the main fan cast, I am a big Brandon Sklenar fan. I think he would do really well in the role. I've liked what I've seen of him in 1923. I saw that movie Drop. I think he would do great as in the role. So I'm all for it. Like, I'm all for seeing Sklenar. I'm also a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, but he's too old, I think. Like, I think he's past that age where he could play, or he should play Batman. Not could, but should play Batman. I want somebody in their mid-30s. That's what I want. That's just me, but yeah. Silver Jaguar says, I also feel like Rick Flag Jr. will definitely be the boyfriend to Harcourt in that alternate dimension. Her boyfriend got called a jarhead, a.k.a. Marine, in episode 1, which fits Flag. Yeah, but Rick Flag wasn't a Marine, if I remember correctly. So that's something that's interesting. I mean, they could always change that, whatever. It's a new universe. There's that. But, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That it could be that. That'd be interesting for sure. For sure. That'd be interesting. I don't know if that's going to be the way they go. Maybe it is. It'd be interesting. I just don't know. Chris, I've been watching Smallville, and Alan Ritchson gave me that Batman the Animated Series 5. He's got that build. He does. He does have that build. But we know, according to Alan Ritchson, it's not happening. Critic Chris says, Michael Keaton was short. Yeah, but that was at a time where you could get away with having a short Batman because he's not standing next to a 6'4" Superman. So, Critic Chris says, as long as they pull off the character, that's what counts. But they're not standing next to a 6'4" Superman. That's a big difference. A big thing. And that's where people complain. Like, I think they could just put an Apple box right now, right next to him, and he can just stand on that, and there you go. He's as tall as him. But whatever. Movie magic. Hunter Iggy says Brandon Sklenar is 100% for me for Batman. I mean, I know a lot of people like him as Batman for sure. I do. I know a lot of people like that. All right, I want to do something different for next week's show. Now, is it next week? No, next week is Friday. Yeah, I'm fine next week. So next week's show, I want to do something a little different. What I want you guys to do is you'll see in the description of my show, you will see let me see if I can find it. A link where you can actually do kind of like a quote-unquote call-in. It's like a link to a website where you can actually call and leave a voice message. I'll make sure it's there right now. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to give me your wildest theory. Your wildest theory of the DCU. You can make it 30 seconds long, no more than a minute though. But I want you to leave me your wildest theory, and I will play these next week for a fun little segment of the show. I just think it'll be fun to do something different because I want to do things, again, I've always wanted, I want these shows to be about the fans, not just me talking all the time. Like, I know you guys watch to hear me and my opinions and my thoughts and things like that, but I also want to hear your thoughts and your opinions and things like that. And I know sometimes in the chat section, it's hard to get your thoughts across via chat. So what I want to do, like I said, is I want you guys to use that link, which it is in the description. I'm just double checking. Where is it at? It says, yeah, I want to throw up. That's the tip. Let me, where is it at? Join this channel. It's not there. Crap. Let me find the voicemail thing. See, I dropped the ball. Look at me dropping the ball. Look at what I do. Sometimes I just screw things up. Good job, me, right? But I'm going to put that in the description here in a second. And then I'm going to post it also on the community tab as well. That way you can leave that voicemail, and I will play it for you guys and for everybody. And we'll comment and discuss those theories. I think it'll be a little fun. It's a little bit different. Like I said, it's going to be something that will be a little fun, a little different to kind of, get the excitement and discussion moving. So that'll be fun. John Summers, what's going on? He says, I think Alan Richardson might be Captain Atom. I'd say Aquaman, but he was already Aquaman in Smallville. Who cares if he was already Aquaman in Smallville? Let him do it again, right? Let him do it again and do better than what he did before. That's what I say. I mean, I think he can do better than he did before. Not saying that he did poorly then, but I think he can do better. I mean, Smallville, come on. I mean, it's just, Smallville wasn't bad. I just think it was one of those things that you sit there and you say, you know what? I think it could be done better. John Summers says, yeah, I'd be cool with either one. As would I. I mean, Captain Atom, I get the thought, the idea that people have with that. I just, I don't know. I think he'd be better as Aquaman. I do. I just cannot find it now. What is going on? So what else you guys got? What else do you have? Anything? Come on, guys. Don't leave me hanging. My show's already short. What do you got? I didn't have much for today. All right. Well, it looks like you guys got nothing. Yeah, typically have more people watching, I guess. That's all right. All right. Like I said, I'm going to put this description for the voicemails for next week in the description. So I'm going to put the link in the description. That's what I meant to say. I'm also going to put it in the community. And then, like I said, you can just click the link. You can leave 30 to 60 second voicemail about your craziest I want theories, not what you want to happen, like not necessarily what you want to happen, but a theory of what you think is going to happen in the DCU. Something that you think is something James Gunn is going to do, something crazy. I just think it'll be a lot of fun to do crazy theories for the DCU. So go ahead and do that. If you guys, can follow me on the socials, the X's, the Facebooks, the TikToks, all that stuff, you can find me on all of those. And then I do a live show also on Mondays, which is Slav's Free Talk Podcast. So you can do that. So find me there. And yeah, all that stuff. You can definitely do that. But guys, I am going to get out of here now. So thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm going to get that in the description here as soon as I find the link that I obviously am an idiot and misplaced. So I'm going to find that and get that in there. But with all this said, guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all later.
The bat signal's lit and the Joker's in town. Wonder Woman's strength never backing down. Aquaman's ride.